In September 1971, deep in upstate New York, stood a massive gray fortress, the Attica Correctional Facility. It was meant to contain the dangerous, the hopeless, the forgotten. But behind its concrete walls brewed something far greater: anger, injustice, and the spark of rebellion. This is the story of the Attica Uprising, the largest prison rebellion in American history, and one that changed the nation forever. To understand what happened inside Attica, we need to understand America in the early 1970s. The country was burning. Protests against the Vietnam War, civil rights marches and movements calling for equality filled the streets. But while America debated freedom outside, thousands of men sat in cages, stripped of dignity, living in conditions unfit for animals. In Attica, over 2,200 prisoners were packed into a facility built for barely half that number. They were allowed one shower per week. They earned less than 50 cents a day. Mail from family was censored or thrown away, especially letters written in Spanish or sent by black families. Every guard was white. Most of the inmates were not. It was segregation and discrimination behind bars. And then came the spark. On September 8th, 1971, a fight broke out between two inmates. A guard intervened and was accidentally struck in the chaos. One of the prisoners involved, William Ortiz, was taken to solitary confinement. But word spread quickly. By the next morning, tension boiled over. As prisoners were being moved to breakfast, a group found a gate unlocked. In a matter of seconds, everything changed. Hundreds poured into the yard. Guards were overpowered. The inmates seized control. The rebellion spread through Attica like wildfire. 1,281 inmates, more than half the entire prison, joined the uprising. They took 42 staff members hostage. But what happened next wasn't chaos, it was organization. Within hours, the prisoners formed committees. They built barricades. They dug trenches. They created a security force to prevent violence, a medical team to treat the wounded, and even a communications team to negotiate. Their demands? Simple. Human rights. They wanted medical care. They wanted religious freedom. They wanted education. And they wanted the warden removed. One inmate read a statement to reporters from inside the prison yard. "We are men. We are not beasts, and we will not be beaten or driven as such." For 4 long days, the world watched. Television cameras captured images of inmates holding signs that read, "Attica means freedom." They allowed journalists and lawyers inside. For the first time in U.S. history, the nation saw prisoners speak, not as criminals, but as citizens demanding justice. But outside those walls, the state of New York was running out of patience. Governor Nelson Rockefeller refused the prisoners' main demands, especially amnesty for anyone involved in the rebellion. He believed giving in would make the state look weak, so he chose a different path. A violent one. On the morning of September 13th, 1971, helicopters appeared in the sky over Attica. Inside the yard, inmates stood arm in arm, guarding the hostages. They had no idea what was about to happen. At 9:46 a.m., the signal was given. Tear gas rained from the helicopters. Gunfire erupted from all sides. For 20 minutes, smoke and screams and chaos filled the air. When it was over, 43 people lay dead. 33 prisoners, 10 hostages. Most of them killed by police bullets. When reporters entered Attica after the smoke cleared, they found the yard covered in blood and debris. Some of the surrendered prisoners had been executed. Others were beaten and tortured for days. Rockefeller called it a triumph of law and order, but the photos told a different story. The nation was horrified, and for many Americans, especially Black and Latino citizens, Attica became a symbol of everything wrong with the justice system. In the years that followed, investigations revealed cover-ups, lies, and brutality. No troopers were ever convicted for the killings. But the uprising forced the government to re-examine prison conditions nationwide. New reforms followed: better sanitation, education programs, and limits on solitary confinement. Yet more than 50 years later, Attica still echoes through time. Its message remains painfully relevant: that when people are denied dignity long enough, they will demand it, no matter the cost. The Attica Uprising wasn't just a prison riot. It was a mirror, held up to a nation that preached freedom but practiced control.
And for every man who stood in that yard, fists raised through the smoke, one truth burned into history: freedom doesn't live in silence, it lives in defiance.